I've already started Vlogmas and I didn't realise. Hello! Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I'm Debbie. Today's book is The Chalet by Catherine Cooper. I have read another book by Catherine Cooper, and it's the one that she brought out after The Chalet, which was The Chateau, and that was a really, really, really good book. And so I wanted to go back and read The Chalet because I saw that The Chateau came out of stuff that she wrote for The Chalet. Yeah, so let's get in with the blurb. 4 friends, 1 luxury getaway. The perfect murder. French Alps, 1998. 2 young men ski into a blizzard, but only 1 returns. 20 years later, 4 people connected to the missing man find themselves in the same resort. Each has a secret. 2 may have blood on their hands. 1 is a killer in waiting. Someone knows what really happened that day, and somebody will pay. This is in crime, thriller, detective, horror. I'm not sure I'll put it in horror. It's 400 pages on ebook. I read this on BorrowBox, which is an app connected to my local library. And yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Having read The Chateau, I went into this book not trusting anything, which is the best way to go about it, really, because you literally cannot trust anybody's narrative in this story. The narrative kind of goes between what happened with the blizzards in 1998 and the modern day, and you kind of hear from different people as you go through. I know that as things came out and you started to get to know a little bit more about what happened in 98 and then comparing that to people in the modern day, Catherine Cooper's clever. Because as you get information out, you realise, oh, that could be this person in the modern day. Oh, wait. No, it could be this person. So just when you think you're on the right track, you find out something about somebody else and you're just like, wait, is that it? Because as well as having those 2 narratives, there comes a point in the story when you start hearing from a child who, when you first meet them, you realise that their mother has got a lot of issues, there's alcoholic, there's a bit of neglect on the mother's part. There's a point when the mother goes missing and the child is left in the house for a few days or a week. It's not really explicitly stated because it's done through the eyes of the child, so all you know is that the child just says, I haven't seen mummy in a while. But yeah, because the child is left to fend for themselves, you know, they can't open the front door because she thinks there's a key in the lock and she can't reach it. There were points where I was just like, is it explicitly stated that the child is a girl? Or am I just kind of reading between lines here? But I was on the right path, so but you're never actually told the child's name. It's never explicitly stated in the beginning who the child is now, which is why you find yourself kind of going through all the characters in the present day thinking, who is this? Because, you know, if it's a girl, there's 3 possible people that this could be. And then it's clever with the names as well, because there were some connections made that I was just like, oh. And it made me want to reread the beginning because it was just like, was this explicitly stated in the beginning? And to be honest, I don't think it was, because I think I would have paid attention to that. I think it's because it's one of the unisex names. I'm just going to say that unisex names can put you off and make you think you're looking at something when you're not, or looking in the wrong direction. I can't say too much about this one just because of how the stories overlap, because, I mean, obviously you know there's a connection, you just don't know what the connection is. And when the child comes in as well, I was completely barking up the wrong tree. Completely. There were so many points where I was just like, oh, it's going to turn out that that person is going to end up being the child. And I'll admit, as more stuff came out, I was just like, oh, I can tell who this person's mother was, but you don't know who the child is. This doesn't make any sense, does it? It's because I'm being really cryptic, because I can't say too much because of the nature of the story. But basically, in the 90s, you've got 2 guys and they're out on a skiing holiday. One of the guys has brought his girlfriend with him. They're Oxbridge students, but the girlfriend, kind of there on a scholarship type thing, she can't actually afford to go to the school. So while everybody else is like really rich and kind of knows what they're doing, and she's there going, I've never skied before. She feels like she's ruining the holiday because she knows that her boyfriend wants to ski, and he tries teaching her how to ski, and it all goes tits up, you know. He's taking on baby slopes, the babies are getting it quicker than she is, and he's getting a bit pissed off, because you see from both point of views in the 90s. Actually, you see from three point of views in the 90s, because you see from his brother as well. But yeah, on the day after she has basically said, you know, you don't have to look after me, you know, I'm going to go out with an instructor, you go out with your brother and have fun and have your time skiing. And then when they go out in like the worst weather, it's like just before like everything is closed down, and they go out and the instructors lose them on an off-piste track. And it starts off with one instructor, and then another instructor joins them. It's just making me think of the ending, and it's just like, no, even she didn't know who the other person was. So it makes me feel better about the fact that I feel like I ignored something really, really important in the beginning, when it's likely I didn't. It just wasn't spelled out to me. Yeah, everybody has a secret. Everybody is hiding something. And the fact is, you do have characters that are very prominent in both storylines, which is basically one of the main instructor that took the brothers out on the blizzard has now become owner of this chalet park, what do you want to call it, Cameron. And my god, he's an arse. I think all the other characters in the story hate Cameron. But the thing is though, he isn't the worst of them. He really isn't the worst of them, because you've got the two brothers from the beginning. When they go out, they go missing, and later you find out that one of them was never found, the other one did manage to get back and survived. And basically in the modern day, during another blizzard, it dislodges the body of the guy from the 90s, and so the brother is brought out to identify the body, and I'm just there going, identify the body? This was like 20 years ago. But to be fair, it's not actually about identifying, because he ends up not viewing the body. They just end up saying, because of the markers, because of, you know, what we know about what happened on the night that you guys went missing, and because we know what he was wearing, this is obviously your brother. You don't have to identify him, but we're going to take you out and show you where he was found, where we think he was dislodged from. And they take him on this huge, I say huge, they just take him kind of around the resort basically. But yeah, it's when the brother turns up and ends up staying in the same chalet as the four guests. And you've got Rhea. Is it Rhea? Rhea? Throughout the book, she's horrible. From straight away, I didn't like her. You see, she's in a relationship, she's married, and she explicitly states that she's not in love with the man. And you don't really understand why they're together, because she really seems to, like, truly hate him at certain times. But there are other times it seems like there is a love there for him. But a lot of her actions seem very selfish. And when the brother who survived turns up at the chalet, and she's there going, no, I can't see him, you know. And you're just thinking, hang on a second, what is her involvement in what happened 20 years ago? It's trying to figure out where she was in that story, because it's so evident that she's been there before. She actually arranges for them to go to this place. It's like she owes something to Cameron. And so as things come out and you try to kind of figure out that puzzle piece, you're just thinking, who is she? But then you've also got other people in the chalet as well. You've got her husband, he's not a business partner, it's somebody he works with, and his wife and child. And then you've also got the chalet girl as well. There were certain bits where it was just like, wait, we haven't heard from this person yet. But then you get their story and it's just like, oh, but her story is so similar to this one's story. And then her story is similar to their story as well. So it really does kind of open everything up, because you're just like, hang on a second, we've got three women here with very, very similar stories and backgrounds. They all have a connection to the chalet and the resort. So where is this going to go? Where is this going to go? If you're not completely baffled now, just read it. Just read it. It was really good. It was a nice little kind of, it had a bit of detective feel to it. Yeah, it's just like you kind of trying to figure everything out. You guys know I love a good thriller. If you've been here before, you know I like a good thriller. This is like my go-to story, basically. Something what gets me really thinking. I mean, I like a good rom-com as well, but like given the choice between like a rom-com and a detective series, or like a murder mystery, I will always go for the detective murder mystery. Just because I love the way that it gets me to think and kind of try to think outside the box with stuff. I mean, I've been watching Agatha Christie stuff since I was a kid. Because I think the Poirot with David Suchet, I think that one is as old as me, actually. I think it came out in '89. Yeah, first the 8th of January 1989, and I was born at the beginning of February. So yeah, it was like a month older than me. And it aired from '89 to 2013, I think. You have to admit, Poirot was good. David Suchet was good. I did want to see him in a play though, and I think I actually fell asleep. Sorry, David Suchet. I'm sure it was brilliant. I was a student. We was with a college group, and it just wasn't up our street. Can you tell I really enjoyed this book? I just love it when you've got a puzzle and you just have to kind of piece everything together. The Chalet, Catherine Cooper. If you like a good mystery and you like putting those pieces together. It also has some funny bits as well. I think kind of like a staple of Catherine Cooper's books is just don't trust anybody and dislikable characters. Because in the Chateau, that was the point of it. The point was that they were unlikable, so that at the end, when everything happened and kicked off, you didn't really feel sorry for them, because at the end of the day, even though they tried to humanise them, they didn't do anything redeemable. But in this, it's like everybody had something to do with it, because you've got because you've got the brothers, and obviously they had something to do with it. I mean, they were out there, and when you find out from the point of view of the brothers what actually happened during the blizzard in the 90s, and you're just like, bloody hell. Both of them were unlikable at certain points, but the brother who survived, he's just... I wanted to punch him in the face. Cameron, who runs the place, again punchable. His co-worker, who joined him up on the mountain in the 90s, unlikable. It's likeable in certain scenarios, but then at the same time complete unlikable as well, because their involvement was shady. Yeah, just everybody has their layers. And when everything comes out, there's only one... Well, there's technically 3 people you feel sorry for by the end of it, and one of them's dead. Well, actually, 2 of them are dead by the end of it. So the only person that's kind of survived it all, who has kind of been plodding around in the background ever since, and you just feel so sorry for him. And then you've got that last line that was just like, oh... But even they haven't completely figured it out, because while you learn who everybody else is... and how they relate to what some people think was a tragic accident, or other people think that people were implicit in it. Yeah, it's just... yeah, the Chalet, Catherine Cooper. That is the front cover. 4 guests, 1 luxury getaway, and 1 perfect murder. But it's not perfect. And it's not just 1. Anyway, I feel like I've been watching for ages, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. I have seen more people join the family, so thank you very much. And yeah, I'll see you next time. I almost said next week, but we're in Vlogmas now, aren't we? But yeah, so yeah, thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow with another video for Vlogmas. Bye!